In the modern world, there's an undeniable and alarming emergence of weak, fragile masculine identities. A trend that threatens not only the individual men caught in its web but the very fabric of society itself. Where once masculinity was synonymous with strength, resilience, and purpose, it has, over time, been distorted into something fragile, passive, and reactive. This shift is not only a social phenomenon, it's a crisis, one that has profound implications for men and the communities they inhabit. The emergence of this fragile masculinity is not a natural progression but the result of a toxic cultural environment that actively discourages men from embracing their true potential. Historically, masculinity was built on the foundation of resilience, leadership, and the ability to endure hardship. It was about standing firm in the face of adversity, protecting the vulnerable, and taking responsibility for one's actions. Men were taught to develop mental and emotional fortitude, to be self-reliant, and to cultivate strength, not just for their own benefit, but to support those around them. A man's worth was measured by his ability to overcome obstacles, to remain steady when the world around him was crumbling, and to lead with courage, dignity, and respect. But today, we find ourselves in a world where these traits are increasingly viewed with suspicion. Society has reshaped masculinity into something that is meek and fragile, something that values emotional vulnerability over emotional resilience, passivity over action, and conformity over individuality. Men are told that their traditional traits are outdated, even toxic. The world encourages men to abandon their strength, to shy away from leadership, and to silence the fire of ambition that once drove them forward. The pressure to conform to an emasculated ideal has never been greater. As a result, men are left unsure of their identity, constantly second-guessing their actions and questioning their value. This shift has created a generation of men who are uncertain of their place in the world. They are told to be more sensitive, more understanding, more passive. They are discouraged from pursuing ambition and told that assertiveness is a form of aggression. The ideals of self-reliance and resilience are being replaced by a culture of dependence and fragility. Men, in many cases, have been conditioned to believe that expressing strength, ambition, or independence is somehow harmful, that being emotionally reserved is a sign of being out of touch with their feelings. But these messages are not liberating, they are disempowering. The emergence of weak masculine identities is also a direct result of the culture of victimhood that has taken root in modern society. Men are increasingly encouraged to see themselves as victims of their circumstances, to externalize their struggles, and to place blame for their lack of success or fulfillment on society, on others, or on systems beyond their control. Instead of rising to confront challenges, they retreat into self-pity, comfort, and avoidance. Rather than developing the mental and emotional fortitude necessary to navigate the world, many men have chosen the path of least resistance, numbing themselves with distractions, indulgences, and mindless entertainment. They are no longer warriors navigating the battlefield of life. They are spectators, passive participants in their own existence. But this new, fragile masculinity comes at a steep price. A man who lacks resilience, self-discipline, and the will to overcome adversity is a man who lacks purpose. He becomes adrift in a world that demands leadership, action, and accountability. Weak men are not only vulnerable to being exploited and manipulated by forces beyond their control, but they also contribute to the decline of the communities they inhabit. A man who cannot stand firm in the face of difficulty, who cannot take responsibility for his actions, and who lacks the drive to pursue his own success, is a man who cannot lead or protect. This fragile masculinity robs society of its true potential, weakening the very foundation upon which strong communities are built. What we need is a resurgence of real, unshakable masculinity, a return to strength, resilience, and purpose. We need men who are not afraid of discomfort, who embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. We need men who understand that emotional intelligence is not about fragility, but about the strength to feel, process, and act with wisdom. True masculinity is not about being hardened and unfeeling. It's about having the courage to face the world head-on, to carry responsibility with grace, and to never back down from the trials that life presents. The modern world has lost sight of what it means to be a man,